as a practice, it might help you in your practice if you just practiced being in the practice of recording the practice. It changed my practice when I just decided I'm going to turn the camera on every time, even if I don't use the footage. It just changed it for me. You are hitting upon the key question. You recorded it all. Do you watch it all? And the answer to the question is absolutely not. No. Here's what I do. So unless I'm trying specifically to make a specific type of video and I'm just trying to have like a record of my stuff and I'm like hoping maybe I capture a cool moment, what I'll do is I'll turn it on and then I will spin, and if I have like a whatever, it's just average, like, because most of your spinning is average, I'll keep going to, I'll go to the next song. And then if it feels like it's been longer than 10 minutes, just because the file size gets too big, what I'll do is I'll go immediately delete it, because I was like, yeah, there was nothing important there. That was just me. I call it use it or lose it sessions, where you're just like, you gotta do maintenance on what you know, or else you lose the skill. And then I'll restart it. But then the moment I end either a song or a session or have a moment where I'm just like, fucking yeah, I hit that shit, I will go at that point and I'll turn off the video. And then I will, if it's a long session where I have like 10 recordings, if I know it was something where I was like, fuck yeah, I hit that shit, I'll like favorite it. And then what I do is, instead of watching through from the beginning, I back up from the end, because I know that the good thing is at the end. Or if I want to know how well I hit it or whether I was right about whether or not I hit it, I'll watch it immediately. And I'll cut out the part immediately that I was like, fuck yeah, that shit rocks. But sometimes that can fuck with your flow. So, you might just stop the recording, start again, and you might have like 2 or 3 in a row where you hit it. And then you just have 2 or 3 tracks like that in a row, and you only watch those, but then, oh, yeah, okay, you have another couple tracks after that, and you're like, delete that shit, it wasn't any good. It just became easier to watch backward from the end than to watch forward from the beginning, because you can always end it after something good, but you're not always starting with something great. So if you have an iPhone, what helps me also is when you look at the clip, if you cut, so you know how you have the edit feature in the, like, in view of in the Photos app, if you just cut the part of it that you like and then save that as a new clip, then you can just delete the whole bigger clip and it saves disk space. When I started, what I would do is I would do like 1 30-minute track, like, video. That is impossible. I do not recommend that to anybody ever. Yeah, I would just leave the video on and I would pretend it wasn't there. That is impossible, because it's like, oh, you might have had something good at 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 13 minutes, 17 minutes, like, but then you have to like watch through the whole thing. It's impossible to go through that. And you don't want to end up spending more time in the editing process than in the process of the creation. So the thing that really helped for me was, it took a minute, because when I started doing this seriously, I was in this commitment to, like, I was trying to do 1,000 videos in a year, which I did for a couple years. It's a big commitment, but I was like, but what if I don't get something better? Like, so something that's slightly better than average, but it isn't like, fuck yeah, I hit that shit, which, you don't have fuck yeah, I hit that shit all the time. You just don't, it doesn't happen in every practice. Sometimes you're like, I might want to say something that's meh, but like getting really ruthless with yourself about it and forcing yourself to just, like, especially if you don't have it's not your business, this is your hobby, right? So with you can be really ruthless. If it's not something that you love, just shit can it immediately. And then you don't have it wasting hard drive space, and you don't have, the thing for me that was an even bigger deal was it was wasting my mental space to think about the fact that I had to go through the footage. So this for me is the absolute fastest way. Throw it out immediately and end the track right after you have the good thing, and either watch it immediately if you're not still in the flow state, or right after the practice when you remember what it was, so you can find the cue for the moment that you remember, and then cut it immediately, even if you don't post it immediately. And then you can, and like, if you have that as a regular practice, you'll have way more content way quicker than you think, and it'll take you way less time than you might have imagined, because especially if you're ruthless about, I'm gonna just shit can what was like meh.